Hello, hello, hello. So it's another time for another first look video. So today we're looking at the Protector, which is the experimental ship of the Congress. So this thing has a few differences between the Congress. So first thing first, the HP is at 68,000 compared to the Congress's. It also has the burst fire gimmick of the experimental ships. So it has that special AP, which gives it. So during the burst fire, it has two bursts in it, so two salvos, and it decreases the range by 35%. And during that, as long as it has the modified shells, it has the improved ricochet angles, the short fuse, and faster shells. So the shells are more accurate. Well, they're easier to hit because they're faster, and you have more likely to pen due to the improved ricochet angles. Now, one of the main differences between the Protector and the previous experimental ships like the Mets is that it has the fighter flight that is for secondaries. So this ship you'll be building into secondaries, and these secondaries are actually really strong. They have a 36 millimeter HE pen, and they have the accuracy of the Napoli. So pretty strong in that. Also, this ship is not in public testing currently in patch 14.2, like its two experimental ships, the other ones that are, the Hotaka and the Varizi. They're currently in testing in 14.2, but this one is not for some reason. So it'll probably be in the next patch, but we will have to see. Going off of that as well about the secondaries, when you build into the secondaries all the way, the secondary range goes to 11.5 kilometers, which is very long range for a tier 8 cruiser. And with how the fighter flight works of the Protector and the other two, is that you start off at full HP, and as you go down, the HP to the minimum threshold of the Protector, which is 17,000 HP. It can get a 16% maximum buff to firing range of the secondaries by 16%, and 30% by the secondary battery reload. So you get a 30% quicker reload and an increased range by 16%, or 20% off of what the client is currently setting. So we're just going off of what the dev blog is saying. So with that information, the secondary range goes to 14 kilometers, which is the longest secondary range as of tier 8. So this thing is going to be a secondary monster for sure if it goes in that current state. The depth charges are going to be the same. Anti-air defense is going to be the same. Maneuverability is going to be the same, and concealment is going to be the same as the Congress. So really no differences there. So also the main difference with the consumables is that the Protector has the improved heal like the other experimental ships. So it has that really long improved heal, and it has a lot of them, as well as hydro. And it does not have radar compared to the Congress. So that is the major difference between the Protector and the Congress. For you guys that are wanting any information on the differences, that is the major difference. So going off of all that information, let's look at the theoretical build of the Protector. So for the Protector, I would honestly do auxiliary armament, and the reason why is that the main guns are going to have such a long reload. For the Protector, you're going to be really focusing more on your secondaries and getting as much secondary power you can as possible. Now, because if you look at the reload, it's 26 seconds, and the burst fire is 52 seconds. So very, very long reloads on all the experimental ships for the secondary fighter flight gimmick. So you're definitely focusing way more on secondaries. So you'll be doing the secondary auxiliary armament modifier with the damage controls party system. Then the secondary battery modifier in the slot 3. Slot 4 is going to be propulsion, and then concealment is going to be in slot 5. And of course, on the Protector, there is no radar, and there's going to be a hydro and then a improved heal. which is the heals are longer and they have a quicker cooldown of 60 seconds. So you can kind of rapid fire the heals. For the build, you're going to see up on the screen. You don't have to build into IFHE on the secondaries of the Protector since they already have that 36 millimeter HE pen, which is really
And
impressive.
also more importantly, Protector uses SAP secondaries for whatever reason.
Oh, it has sap?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I did not. Well, ooh. Wow. That's really interesting. Did the Hotaka use sap as well?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that's really interesting. So the secondaries are sap for the Protector. So you get the Napoli's accuracy, and you can get up to 14-kilometer range with the secondaries too. That's pretty insane for the Protector. Wow. That is pretty gnarly. So the build is going to be up on the screen again. You're going to be building into secondaries, getting the extra heal from the superintendent. Of course, you're building into concealment and the top grade gunner. So yeah, that is the build for the Protector. But yeah, that is pretty insane. For the Protector to have sap that can go up to 14 kilometers. That's pretty gnarly, man. If you think about it,
Oh yeah.
that's insane.
Just imagine the poor tier 6 cruiser or battleship that runs into the Protector as it yellows down at them, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Mm-hmm. Also to note, there also isn't that many secondaries on the Protector itself. Like, there aren't that many. So that's probably
It's
why.
it's the same layout, and yeah, that does actually expose some vulnerability, because if you take, say, a British battleship HE shell to the face, you can actually lose 1 or 2 secondaries. And that's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of firepower.
Yeah, it is. That's why you have to build into protecting the secondaries, because if you don't, they're just gonna get knocked out. But yeah, I'm just looking over the ship right now because as you can see on the hull, you can only have really 3 guns firing at a time. Sorry, 3 turrets firing at a time. If you're sitting bow in, you can have 3 turrets firing as well. And if you're off the rear, you can have 3 turrets firing. So you're never really gonna have a maximum of more than 4 turrets firing at a time because yeah, just off of how the angles are. But yeah, these new experimental ships are really interesting with the fact that they start off at full HP. They're pulling away from how strong, like the burst fire is still strong on these ships, right? It's still strong, but the fact that it
Yes.
has such a long cooldown really means that they're trying to make the burst fire more of like a drive-by thing. Probably it's like, oh well, you get one chance. You get one chance to do a good drive-by shot, and if you mess it up, you're not going to get another one most likely in that time. That's what it kind of feels like with these super long reloads for the burst fire. That's what it feels like anyway.
Yeah, it's meant to heavily punish the player in this case.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, play smart and you only need the burst fire for 1 salvo anyways.
Yeah, exactly. And the burst fire does come with 2 salvos in the burst fire. It does come with 2. We'll go back and take a look. It comes with 2. Just like all the others.
Yes, 2.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So, it's the Protector just doubles down on close range combat like all the other experimental ships on this batch. Like, if you take a look at the other characteristics, main battery reload and the dispersion is quite bad. Like, it literally uses battleship dispersion. At least the Congress uses battlecruiser dispersion, which is a little bit more accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems with the ships how they're designed, if you try to use them at long range, you're not going to get any use out of them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this ship does in like the field like in the randoms or in general, because like if you look at the Mets, it does a good job staying bow win. This though, like it has to get more in the fight because of the secondaries. So I'm curious to see how this does throughout its testing process.
You can kind of see it a loose analogy to the Massachusetts because both ships are secondary. So Massachusetts is a secondary based version of the Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Protector is a secondary version of the Congress. So I expect it to be a somewhat close analogy in terms of use. You know how Massachusetts can't really get close at high tiers because there's too much firepower running around?
Yeah, exactly.
Protector will probably fall into that same problem. On the other hand, if you are allowed to get close, like if you fight tier 6 and tier 7 ships, yeah, that's not going to be a very fair fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna clobber them for sure. But anyway,
Yeah,
we will have
this.
to see for sure throughout its testing process.
Yep. And since Protector will be assuming it's the same way it's unlocked as the current batch of experimental ships, Protector should be the first one unlocked. So, come a couple of days after that patch, you will see a ton of Protectors, and oh my gosh, it's going to be secondaries flying everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a 14-kilometer secondary Congress steamrolling around. That's gonna be pretty funny with the SAP secondaries. It's
Well,
gonna be
not at
interesting to see.
14 kilometers. Remember, you have to be nearly dead in order to have that range.
Mm-hmm.
So, just one more tap of a burst fire, and boom, you're dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. But anyway, if you guys have any questions or concerns, let us know in the comments down below. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.